everyone, it's Jen, Scrapbena Creations. I'm sticking to the theme of using what I have in my stash, and I'm sharing 18 cards with you today using the Carta Snow Much Fun. So this was a collection I purchased at my local scrapbook store last winter, and it has sat in my stash. I didn't get a chance to make a video last year, so I am going to use it for this video and get this paper pad out of my stash. I absolutely love the colors. I'm just gonna quickly flip through the 6x6 pattern paper pad here with you. It's absolutely gorgeous with all these blues. There's a hint of like a rose kind of brownish color, and then it has some greens in it as well and dark navy blue. So I also bought the 12x12 sticker sheet and then the large 12x12 sheet of the 3x4 cut-aparts. Now, the generic winter sentiments don't really work for me, so I chose one stamp set. This is Heffy Doodle Close at Heart, and I absolutely love this stamp set. It has some great sentiments, especially for checking in and just letting our friends know that we're thinking about them, our friends or our loved ones, during this challenging time with the COVID-19 pandemic. So for the first set of 3 cards, I'm using a very simple design. So all of the designs today are very simple. I didn't have much time to create, and so I wanted to kind of bang out as many cards as I could in a short period of time. So for each of the cards, I'm going to do, well, for each design, I'm doing 6 separate designs and 3 cards for each. So for this design, the bulk of the pattern paper I wanted showing this sweater pattern was my favorite. Just cut that with a stitched scalloped rectangle die. And then I backed one of the 3x4 cut-aparts with some teal cardstock, again, using up some old cardstock I have in my stash, and then adding a sentiment over top of that one that was there because it didn't really make sense for a card sentiment. So here's a look at the 3 that I did. I'm just showing you, I changed them up a little. For this penguin one, I rounded the 2 bottom corners, used the sentiment, "How's it going, friend?" same as the one on the sweater. And then for the center one, I just used, I cut out a little coffee cup. No, actually, that was a sticker. So I used one of the stickers just on top of the sentiment. So for cards 4 through 6, I'm using an MFT sketch. This is number 367, and I will leave the link to all the MFT card sketches down in the description box below in case you're interested. So I'm using the same design for this one. I've used this recently. Actually, I think it was with the gnome holiday cards that I did, and I really like this design. So I had some love from Lizzie peel off stickers in my stash, and again, just wanting to use some of those. So I'm going to use the white one here where those 2 pattern papers meet. And so this one is really cute. The pattern paper to the left-hand side has what I feel is snowballs. Gives you that illusion anyways. And then I'm using the dark navy paper for the right hand side, again using one of the 3x4 cut-aparts. Now this one says Cocoa and Cuddles. Again, not very useful for me, so I used one of the Heffy Doodle sentiments here. This says, "Let's do virtual coffee soon." I think it says soon. It might actually say, I don't have the card in front of me here, let me grab it. Sometime. So I am going to back this sentiment on to some of the pattern paper. I did stamp this out on some cardstock, and then I'm just going to trim this up. I, for the life of me, cannot cut a straight line when it comes to sentiments. So I need my trimmer. This is my trimmer of choice. It's the Tim Holtz Tonic Studio 6x8, 8.5. It's linked below. It's the 8.5 trimmer. I absolutely love it, and I'm just going to finish this off just cutting that angle with my scissors. So I'm just going to cover up that sentiment that's there. So this is a good way to get use out of those 3x4 cards if they don't quite meet your needs. Now, it wasn't until after I finished this card that I thought maybe the coffee didn't fit because there's marshmallows in this cup, but you can tell I'm not a coffee drinker and didn't really notice that as I was making it, but hopefully it's not that big a deal. If you know of a coffee drink with marshmallows in it, let me know down below. But anyways, I think whoever receives this card will get the point anyway, so I think it still works. So here's a look at the other two that I created. The one with the mountains, again, I covered up the sentiment and used miles apart but close at heart. And then for this polar bear one, which is actually a sticker, I used the sentiment, thinking of you makes me smile, which I love. And I used the paper from the previous card with the sweaters for that one. So love those 3 cards. So for 7 to 9, I'm using another card sketch. This is number 473. Again, really simple designs, using a lot of rectangles and circles in this set of cards. So I'm using some of the scrap paper here, and I'm just showing you that I still have the top part of that pattern paper. It has the circle cutout where people who sell these products can actually hang them. And I'm just showing that it doesn't matter for this particular card because that will be covered up. Now I'm using some of the extra cutoffs of the pattern paper just to make sure that there's no dip there in the center. These are pieces I knew that I wasn't going to use, so I might as well use them to make my cards nice and level. And I'm using this gorgeous snowflake pattern paper for the center. This was also one of my favorites from the paper pad. So I'm just trying to get that straight. And I do use my large stamp block quite a bit just to ensure that there's a good stick with that liquid adhesive while it's drying, although I've never had an issue with the Barely Art glue. I absolutely love it. So while that dried, I added a circle to another circle cutout with that snowball pattern paper. I love that. And then I'm using this little sticker of a child creating a snow angel, which is so cute. And then I'm using the sentiment, wish we lived closer. So don't you just love this sentiment stamp? If you are looking for the perfect sentiment stamp for the times that we're in right now, I would definitely recommend this one, and it will be linked below as well as all of the other products that I'm using today. So there we go, that card is now complete. I love that teal cardstock with this collection. I believe it's some Stampin' Up cardstock that I'm using from my stash. So here's a look at the other 2 cards I made. I love that little sticker with the woman snuggling in her blanket. And then for that third one, I used the mittens and then the corresponding mitten paper, which is really sweet as well. So on to cards 10 to 12. I'm not using a sketch, but again, another really simple design. So if you only have a very limited amount of time to create some cards, this is a great video for that. So I had a lot of fun creating these, and I can't say enough how good it feels to be using stuff that I love, that I've had in my stash and just haven't had a chance to use. So I'm using the snow globe pattern paper to the back of my card, just leaving a slight border there so the white panel of my white cardstock can show through. I tend to create cards with at least one large panel of the pattern paper. I tend to fall in love with the papers and want to be able to see as much of them as possible on my cards. So again, using my circle dies here. So I used the Heffy Doodle stitch circles as well as my Hero Arts infinity circles for all my circles today. Added that snow globe sticker and then added my sentiment here. And those are the, I believe the sentiment banners are from Simon Says Stamp. So here's a look at the 3 that I did with this one. I used that second sweater piece of paper because I loved it so much with the sweater sticker, and then a cute deer one as well. So moving on to the next set of cards, these are cards 13 to 15, and I made some slimline cards. So the horizontal 3x4 cards are perfect for slimline. You just have to cut them down a little bit and they'll fit perfectly on the slimline size, which is 3.5 by 8.5. It's also a great way to use up some of those scraps. So I'm using the scrap to the top of my card there with the snowflakes, and then a full panel of that navy pattern paper. To add some added interest, I'm using a Lawn Fawn Scallop border die here with some of the pattern paper, just to kind of have some decorative detail to the bottom of that 3x4 card. Now I did cut all of these out with a Heffy Doodle Slimline die there, so you can see there's stitch detailing all around the card. So easy, this card came together in minutes, and I'll show you the other two I did as well. So these are the 3 horizontal 3x4 cards that were in that 12x12 piece of pattern paper. So just adding some stickers as well, and those cards are complete. So on to the last 3 cards, 16 to 18. I'm using this Honeybee Stamps Hello die, which is great. I showed it at the beginning of the video. It has 3 separate dies. You can see them here. The largest one is the white one that I'm showing, and then I use some pattern paper for the mid-sized one, some of the darker blue, and then some cardstock here in teal for that top layer. So I'm going to use the Hello sentiment. Now I just had a few strips of paper left, so I cut them all down into 1-inch strips. And this for me is the easiest go-to card design when you don't have full panels of pattern paper left to create cards. So I'm just going to stack them slightly slanted, and I'm just making sure that I am separating those colors. So the lighter blue and then the darker blue, and then if there's some stronger patterns there, I'm trying to separate those out as well. So now I can grab my trimmer and cut down each of the sides, and I have a really sweet background with just using the scraps that I have left. So I was able to make 3 cards with this design with the leftovers, and I barely had anything left over from this paper pad. So I'm doing pretty good this January. This is the second 6x6 paper pad I've used from my stash. The first one I just made 3 cards using I think it was the Soap Honey by Doodlebug, and then this one using a full 6x6 paper pad. And I love how that large Hello die just sticks out so nicely from all of those pretty pattern papers, and I use the sentiment, I miss your face. So I created those all very similarly, just cutting out the different pattern papers with the different Hello dies. So now I'm going to slow down the video and show you all of the 18 cards I made using the Carta Snow Much Fun 6x6 paper pad. I think they came out really cute for such simple card designs. It was fun having the full 12x12 sheet of the 3x4 cut aparts. It made it super simple to create cards, and I think these are fun winter themed cards with some really pertinent sentiments for these times. So I'm excited to get these out in the mail. If you do have a favorite, please let me know which one it was. I always love hearing which cards you all like. So here's a look at the last 3, and then I will leave a video here or 2 on the screen to keep you busy until my next video. As always, thank you all so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And thank you to all of you who click on those affiliate links. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you soon in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye.